welcome back. And now it's time for our press review. We're going to take a look at the main headlines of our Egyptian dailies. And it's a pleasure to have with us Dr. Wala Wasfi. She is a professor of political marketing. Good morning.
Good morning.
Right, let me start by taking a look at the banner of Al-Ahram newspaper. Egypt secured on Thursday membership in the United Nations main human rights body for the period 2017 to 2021. In statements, Egypt's Foreign Ministry spokesman Ahmed Abu Zaid said that the elections for the UN's Human Rights Council membership involved the renewal of the membership for 9 countries from a total of 18 member countries. And he added that 26 countries competed for the 9 seats, describing the elections as intense. Right, how do you read this, and how far can this affect our political status right now?
Of course, it's very critical, especially at that time. Talking about human rights and the UN and what is happening in the Arab countries in general, not only Egypt, it's very critical. Let's say that they mean somehow what is, and they know what they are doing, and there's target from. Let's analyze that there is a target from what that step that is taken. Whatever United Nations talk about human rights, what about human rights, let's say, overcoming human rights in the Arab countries in general, not only Egypt, but we will specify Egypt now currently as we are going near to 30th of June, and it's very important that they won't leave Egypt stable anymore. Whatever the announcements that is said by the minister regarding that, it must be very clear. And nowadays, any situation that is happening in Egypt, the government must deal in a very clear way. There must be a formal announcements from the government, not to leave the programs and the analysis to analyze what is happening on. We have to have a formal announcement. I'm not asking a speech from a president, but I'm asking that a formal announcement from the government stating each and everything is happening. Not only that, what has happened, only another files that we have to talk about, like what happened lost at the court regarding the Tehran and Sanafir. We have to have a formal announcement from the government what is happening, why. Instead of some public figures or some parliamentary members came and said that what is said is not true. It's not a topic for a discussion. We are the pure Egyptians are very clear that there is a message behind what is happening. So to stop that hassle and to stop that rumors and to stop what is happening on, the government must use political marketing that we are talking about. Where's political marketing? How to not only to market, but also to present and to announce each and everything.
Unfortunately, not only the government, but we have to include when it comes to this, to be cautious when it comes also to media and political figures, and we have to take it into consideration that we cannot come out to talk about anything without having an official source announcing such statements. So
they personalize.
Great importance as well, right?
Yes, they personalize.
Let's move on to Shuru newspaper. The damaged black box flight recorders of the Egypt airplane that crashed into the Mediterranean last month are to be sent to France for repairs, and this is according to the Egyptian Investigative Committee. It said the memory units were damaged from the 2 recorders recovered from the seabed almost a month after the crash of the Airbus A320. We have more details in the following report, and we'll be back. Egypt announced that the damaged black box flight recorders of an Egypt airplane that crashed into the Mediterranean last month are to be sent to France for repairs. The Egyptian Investigative Committee said Thursday the memory units were damaged from the 2 recorders recovered from the seabed, also a month after the crash of the Airbus A320. Investigators hope the recorders will reveal the cause of the May 19th crash of flight MS-804 from Paris to Cairo, in which 66 people were killed. The investigative committee said in a statement that members of the panel would travel to France next week with the electronic circuits of the two black boxes to have them repaired in laboratories of the French Air Safety Agency and to eliminate salt deposits. The repaired units would be returned to Cairo for analysis in Egypt's aviation ministry laboratories, the committee said. It also said that French forensic doctors would join their Egyptian counterparts to take part in the recovery operations of body remains at the site of the crash, in which 30 Egyptian passengers and 15 French nationals were among the dead. The investigative committee began examining the black boxes last Saturday in the presence of representatives from France and the United States, where the engine was made. The data on the boxes are being unloaded before they are fully analyzed in a procedure that is expected to last several weeks. Investigators have said it is too early to determine what caused the plane to crash, although a terror attack has not been ruled out. France Aviation Safety Agency has said the aircraft transmitted automated messages indicating smoke in the cabin and a fault in the flight control unit minutes before it disappeared. Egyptian investigators have confirmed the aircraft had made a 90-degree left turn followed by a 360-degree turn to the right before hitting the sea. The crash came after the bombing of a Russian airliner over Egypt's restive Sinai Peninsula last October that killed all 224 people on board.
I'm back. I'm talking about actually this unfortunate incident that took place. I'm talking about the black boxes and recorders. Definitely the most important part is that we are on our way to find out what really happened to this plane. And this is the most important part. I don't know how you read it.
Yes, we are on our way to know, but actually we can predict what is happening. Especially there's nothing before to record that there is something critical with that plane. Just talking about the families of the dead people, may all rest their soul in peace. But regarding the box and what is happening, we have to focus on the upcoming period, because yes, in my own predictions, it's not just an accident, but it is a terrorism one, and it was a shoot. And we have to know why in that just 5 minutes, once it's on the Mediterranean Sea, it's off. And also the specialists in the aeroplanes and the flights can say that, but cannot say a formal announcement by that, but they know. Let's wait and see and move on our track to know what is happening, even if it's damaged or not. We can even have just one evidence to say a formal announcement that it is a terrorism action, not only an accident that happened.
Right. Actually, we are waiting for the investigations, and the most important part, actually, that it was announced that everything will be announced with full transparency, and this is actually what we really need. And moving on to أخبار اليوم, a French Mistral helicopter carrier that Egypt built last year arrived in the country Thursday after taking part in a joint naval exercise in France earlier this week. We have more details in the following report.
A French Mistral helicopter carrier that Egypt built last year arrived in the country Thursday after taking part in a joint naval exercise in France earlier this week. Egypt signed a $1 billion deal with France last year to acquire 2 Mistral helicopter carriers after their sale to Russia was cancelled last August. Egypt had said the second carrier will arrive in September. The warship, named after late President Gamal Abdel Nasser, arrived to a naval base in western Alexandria Thursday after taking part in the multi-day military drill Cleopatra 2016 in France. الأهم Arabic news website reported. It also made a 2-week pilot voyage to France Saint-Nazaire with 170 sailors and 50 French defense experts on board, according to الأهم Arabic. The Mistral deal is part of several defense contracts Egypt signed with France. In April, Egypt signed deals worth 2 billion euros with France during a visit by French President François Hollande to Cairo that included a contract for a military telecommunications satellite expected to be built by France Airbus Space Systems and Thales Alenia Space. France last year agreed to sell 24 Rafale fighters plus a frigate to Egypt in a €5.2 billion deal. Egypt received 3 of combat jets in January.
Welcome back. So how do you read this talking about the Mistral helicopter, and how far such deals can be important when it comes to political marketing as well? Because definitely, yes.
Those are the actions. That is the achievement, especially that deal was made last year, and now it is the actions taking up to real and to be seen and to be taken. And if we talk about France and Egypt, regardless what Egypt passed by or the presidents and the revolution, there is this very special relation between France and Egypt, and those any agreement or any protocol can be achieved, and those are the actions that we are talking about, even if especially Egypt, France and Russia regarding the military system or anything in that file. So it's good, by the way.
Right, moving on to Al-Ahram online. Egypt's Supreme Administrative Court has set the 26th of June to hear the government's appeal against a ruling earlier this week that quashed a decision to hand over 2 Red Sea islands to Saudi Arabia. An administrative court Tuesday cancelled the signing of the deal that put the islands of Tiran and Sanafir, long believed to have belonged to Egypt, in Saudi waters, and the court said the 2 islands remain Egyptian. I know you have a lot to talk about this, and actually most of the people many people actually don't understand what's going on, and still they are waiting to understand from the government, and the government announced later that they are going to present all the documents required again to the court, and still we don't know how is it going to be calculated.
Regarding people first, if we talk about people, yes, they have got the right to be in that hassle, especially there is nothing from the government, and I'm asking the government, not only the president, to say any political announcement regarding political marketing. Political marketing does not mean to promote for parliamentary or presidential elections. It lasts after becoming a president. Any announcement from the government, especially that file when it was issued before, and when they said that Tiran and Sanafir belongs to Saudi Arabia, there was not a formal announcement from the government. And now when the court took up its decision and said it belongs to Egypt, there is no formal announcement from the government. Regardless, any parliamentary member or public figures talking and discussing that, it's not a topic to be discussed. It's by evidence. Stop dividing the street. We are not talking about. We are not talking about agreement. We are talking about our own land. We are talking about our own country. So how come to leave that hassle? And I have to blame the government. Yes. The government as organization, the organization of government, how to manage that file, how to announce it, how to deal with it, not to leave each and every one, and then later on, after any forward decision, it will came and accuse some public figures that said, and we unfortunately we have some public figures without any names said that Tiran and Sanafir belongs to Saudi Arabia, and what the court state is wrong. I won't tell you not to discuss what the court said.
Or don't when jump to conclusions. Let's put it like this, because I believe this is the most important part. And again, maybe the point is that it was mentioned yesterday actually that the government will present the documents required. But maybe we always say that we need every now and then to have all reports to be from official source from the government to stop rumors. I think rumors is the most important part in all issues that we have discussed.
And we left it at the beginning, and we left it now after what the court state. So we have to stop it, as you said, as much as we can, and very quickly, and not to leave it to
anyone who wants to
and
talk.
To people too.
Yes, this is the most important part. And moving on to Al-Ahram newspaper. Egypt's chargé d'affaires in Syria, Mohammed Sarwat Salim, said on Thursday that the embassy managed to get 11 Egyptian citizens trapped in Syria back home. He added that the Egyptian citizens sought the help of the embassy to flee the war zones in Syria that see fierce clashes, bombings, and Daesh control in some areas near Damascus. I think this is also something, talking about Egyptians in some dangerous areas, whether we're talking about Syria, Iraq, and all of these areas. And recently I've been capable actually of bringing back home many of the Egyptians who suffered a lot over there.
Yes, and Libya too.
And even though still some of the Egyptians, they want still to go
and they can stay there and all what is happening. Actually, Egyptians who live there, especially as you said at Syria, Iraq, and Libya, and the borders and the special relation between Egypt and those countries is very special and unique among the historical evidence. And even if to welcome Syrian people here at Egypt to how come to leave you there, and Syrian people, we are trying to welcome them to stay here in Egypt, and I have to say thank you, and that we have that we are very proud by Syrian people who live even here in Egypt. They face the unemployment problem and they know how to solve it. So it's good.
You tell me one word.
Because I thought that it's time
we have to
over.
move on. Yes, but unfortunately time is running up. But at the end, thank you very much, Dr. Wala Wasfi, Professor of Political Marketing. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And right now we're moving on to a quick break, and we'll be back to resume our breakfast show.